everything. We can't have a varsity football game on Saturday because there's going to be rain. Oh, there was rain. Anyway, like one of the only, and I give a lot of credit to a guy or group on Facebook called Hyper Extreme Local. They were probably the least, I guess, aggressive when it came to the forecast. But St. Louis forecasters are notorious for doing this. Notorious. But anyway, I digress. Hope you guys are ready to jump in. Like, subscribe, share the show. Arch City Now, you can jump in and talk if you want to. 855-282-8255. Once again, that is 855-282-8255. We're Arch City Now. All things St. Louis all the time. You can jump in on Facebook, X, YouTube. Talk with us. We'll talk with you. Hope everything is going well for you on this day. The weather looks amazing for the week, by the way. 73, 74, and sunny today. Low 70s again for highs. High 60s throughout the week. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I don't think we can complain about that. Also, if there's a story that you guys want to talk about, bring it up. We've got the NFL weekend. We've got Mizzou from the weekend. Blues from the weekend as we look ahead in all those sports coming up. St. Louis City SC is done. Their season is over. Roman Berkey will be back. One of the best players in the league, their goalie. Best player on that team for sure. Baseball, Game 7 in the ALCS tonight. You may want to get into that. News stories from the weekend. Nikki Glazer has a big week of shows, comedian, St. Louisan. Also, some SNL news with her as well. You can get into that. All kinds of things to talk about if you guys want to do that. It is a Monday. A lot of times on Mondays, it seems sports are really big. If there are news stories that we're missing, you can let us know as well. We love it when you guys jump in and tell us what's going on from that standpoint. Especially, high school football. You can do that as well. We've got all those things that you can do to talk about. What else is happening in your neck of the woods? Halloween's coming up. Week and a half away. Actually, it's the end of next week. Halloween already. You got plans. What are you dressing up as? We started that conversation at the beginning of last week. Would love to know if people need some ideas, whether they're with themselves, with kids, going to parties. Do you have some ideas on what people can do, how they can put some of those things together? Because we know there'll be a lot of things going on throughout the week as well. Did you guys see? Then there's the St. Louis Public Schools. Just they can't get out of the way of themselves. They have now fired their third superintendent in 3 years. That's right. They're looking for their third person in 3 years. I can tell you this much. That's not how you get people excited to move to St. Louis with families and to go to school from a public standpoint in St. Louis City. You can't. There's nothing there. Nothing. If you can't hire the first people or hire people in the first place, just doesn't work. I don't know if that's happened anywhere else in America, but it obviously shows there's some issues in St. Louis when it comes to the public schools. And perception is reality, as I've talked about. And when perception is reality and it's negative, how can you think St. Louis is going to head in the right direction anytime soon? You've got to have school districts. You got to have safe areas and people that feel like they're safe areas and good school districts. And right now, just not happening that way. Well, there was let's see here. Okay. Like, subscribe, share the show, jump in. X, Facebook, YouTube. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Interviews, stories about the area. You guys can do that with us as well. I like these lottery stories as well that happen. How about this? A Missouri lottery player won a $3 million prize. I think it was last week. The player reportedly paid $40 for tickets and ended up winning $3 million. Do you ever think you could really win? The person said, I started out with $40. I bought two $20 tickets and won $100. So I bought another ticket and won another $100. And then I used my winning ticket to keep playing and won $250. Damn, a lot of winners right there in a row. 100, 250. That's $450. However, things didn't stop there. The players then turned their tickets in, and guess what they did? They bought more tickets. This person said, I went to cash the tickets, bought two more tickets, $30 tickets. I guess they're scratchers. I saw I matched two numbers and thought, well, that's at least $30. The person kept scratching. The ticket was a $3 million ticket. So essentially, they won $3 million off $40. It was sold in Kansas City, Missouri. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 winning tickets because they kept purchasing tickets and for $40 worth of tickets, all at one setting. My, oh, my. That's the good news, 6:13 on a Monday morning. Yeah, I know a lot of people play the lottery and a lot of people lose, but there are winners. People do win. We've got some news today about that backyard bandit we showed you before. He's been captured in South St. Louis, stealing people's lawn equipment. Literally, sometimes while people were even home. It's like, okay. Then you had another guy that was arrested for stealing people's golf carts. That person was caught, arrested. The Grafton Ferry could soon expand some service to St. Charles County. Does that interest you? Would you get on the water? There's an opportunity for that as well. Also, I see what you're saying. We'll get in it. Are you actually playing that video right now? Okay.
Yeah.
We can play it now. We'll play it later too. I'm going to get into this. Just giving people you're so on top of it, Rye. Oh, my bad. How about my good? You're too good. Rye leading the way. Yeah, we're showing. Here, we'll show it right now then. We'll just continue to show it. We'll get into that story. Remember this dude? This guy, he's something else. He was stealing people. Excuse me. And you gotta tell the bosses, because you have direct communication with them and I don't. I'm just kind of a peon. We need a cough button.
What do you mean? Like
so I don't go or clear my throat so I can hit a button.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like a mute yourself.
Yes, it's called the cough button.
Yeah. We
need to get one of those things, especially for Vic with allergies early in the morning. So this guy, his name's Kevin Poirier, 50-year-old dude, was literally going into people's backyards. There was video of him stealing lawnmowers, damaging property. There was one person that said they had 5 different instances of items being stolen. So there was video that we were showing you, literally this guy getting caught. Well, they eventually found him stealing lawnmowers, gas cans, weed eaters, weed whackers, whatever you want to call it. So this guy finally got caught. It was only a matter of time. Once there's video and you put the video out there, somebody's going to see you. Don't be dumb. The DVD, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. So the brazen guy was doing it during the daytime. Didn't care. Act like he's been there. Oh, yeah, I own the place. Go back in, walk on out. Nobody thinks anything of it. So fortunately, he got caught, and now he's got some issues. So I'm sure he'll get his, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of charges come his way and where it goes. A really cool story that I also wanted to get into. By the way, how was your weekend, Ryan? Anything new going on with you, producer Ryan?
No, it was just a good weekend. I was contemplating going to Chicago this weekend, but I'm probably not.
What's in Chicago? Why would you want to go to Chicago?
It's a concert in Chicago. It's the same artist that I saw on
Anybody know who the artist is?
Thursday. Probably not. I don't think anybody knows who Osama Sun is. He's a
Who?
Osama Sun. I don't
Osama
know
Sun.
who that is. Yeah.
I like it, Osama Sun.
But yeah, which was weird though, because a lot of his fans are like 22 to like 16, 15. But when I went to the concert, there was a lot of like 40-year-olds and 37-year-olds like jamming out to it. So I was like, okay,
Really?
yeah, maybe he does have a wider audience.
I love it. That's producer Ryan. I'm Vic Faust, Art City Now 618. If you guys want to come on in, let us know what's going on. Hey, thanks for the shout outs, by the way, when you guys jump into the show and shout things out. We do appreciate it. We appreciate you watching as well. We're always looking to get your day started here on luinfo.com. And by the way, we're here Monday through Fridays. You know, we kickstart the day's programming. We love it to kick off everything each morning. We put that big weight on our shoulders and get us moving through. Okay. Here's what we go. Here's what we got. So we're here from 6 to 8 a.m. Then you've got Hot Take Central 2.0 with former Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. And they take you from 8 to 10 o'clock every day. Then on Mondays from 10 to 11, you have the STL or MIZ-STL show. Grant Salzman, myself talking Mizzou, and then it's the Charlie Tune and Posse show from 11 to 1. And we'll talk a lot of Mizzou today, especially because, you know, it may not be pretty, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But Missouri has put themselves in a pretty nice position right now to, still have a shot at the college football playoff. You know what? They're 7 games in, and they're ranked 15th in America. And of course, we will talk about that a little bit later coming up in the show as well. I look at this Monday. We're already at October 20th. I mean, already October 20th, how fast everything is moving. The weather, by the way, has been absolutely fantastic. Yesterday, we finally had our first taste of fall. You felt that chilliness in the air. But you know what? Now we warm back up a little bit this week. Not quite as cold. And, we've got opportunities this week to enjoy everything that's happening. All right. From the weekend, we'll talk a little bit about it. The NFL yesterday. One of the greatest comebacks in NFL history happened. All of this scripting. The Broncos were down 3 scores, somehow, some way, find a way to come back and win. And I'm like, how the heck did this just happen? So people were probably pretty upset if you're a fan of the upset, because you literally had the Giants ready to, I mean, where were they at? 19-0. And then some calls happened at the end of the day, or at the end of the game, that then favored the Giants. They scored a touchdown. How does an NFL kicker miss 2 extra points in the same game?
I don't know. But Vic, remember when we were out and I said that the game wasn't over?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
It's crazy. 33 in 1 quarter.
I don't know how it's possible how an NFL kicker could miss 2 extra points in the same game. All these kickers do is stand there and kick for hours upon hours upon hours of practice. Nothing else is expected of them. And I'm sorry if you're a kicker, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I played the game even through college. And I would just stand there and go, dude, kickers, they just stand there and kick. There is no reason for a kicker never to miss a field goal, ever, unless it's a bad snap or a bad hold. That you should never miss a kick, ever. And especially if you're 35 or 40 yards in, ever. There's no reason. You literally kick hundreds of field goals a day. And I didn't bet on this game. I had no horse in the race. I could care less whether the Giants or Broncos won. But I wish the rules of football were different. Too much comes down to a person who doesn't do anything during the game. And once again, I'm not against kickers. I'm just saying too much falls upon the leg of a kicker in a sport, the greatest team sport there is, on a leg, on the kicker, on a guy that doesn't even play most of the game. Does not make any sense to me. Does not make any. The best team game there is puts too much reliance on a guy that doesn't hardly do anything the entire game. You guys may agree with me, you may disagree with me, but it is what it is. So, if you're a Giants fan, you're not very happy today because the Broncos found a way to win and come back in a big, big way. So, whatever. It is a Monday. It's 6:23. Glad you guys are with us. If there's stories out there that you want to talk about, let us know. We'll get them in there. If anything's happening throughout the St. Louis area, let us know. Also, as we talk about these dark mornings, and they are very, very dark, that's going to be changing. It's in 2 weeks. Daylight saving time ends on November 2nd. That's when we fall back. We get an extra hour. A lot of times we like to say sleep or stay out or whatever it is that you do. But not this coming up Saturday, but the Saturday following, November 2nd, is when we have daylight saving time. So I know a lot of times people are looking forward to that. They're like, oh, yes, another hour. We get another hour. Also, what do we have here? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought I saw a story about Travis Kelce. Hey, by the way, we haven't gotten into the NFL yet, just a little bit. How good did the Chiefs look yesterday? The Chiefs looked like the best team in the NFL yesterday. They were playing the Raiders, who aren't very good, have some injuries. But once again, that's the whole storyline for the NFL this year. Parity, and you've got 8 teams that could probably be good enough to win the Super Bowl. At 7 or 8 teams. And then I was watching the Giants, who had the game won. They were about ready to win their 3rd straight game after losing 4 straight. They got some rookies, Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. These guys are freaking looking like they're dominant players as rookies who aren't even like top picks. Just so bizarre, all of it in the NFL. The scripting of the NFL is very impressive. The other thing that we have going on is Mizzou for this weekend, which we'll get into in the next segment, and just how much fun it is. And anybody you want to give out shout outs from the weekend from a high school football standpoint, you can as well. Locally, it was billed as the biggest game in Missouri. And while SLU is a good program, I mean, no match on the St. Louis side for CBC. CBC blew them out 37-0, and it wasn't even close. How about this, Rye? Here's another interesting thing, because my son's team is supposed to have a game on Saturday, and no high school football should be played on Saturdays. That's just my humble opinion. It should all be Friday nights. But did you know there's actually people in the area? There are people who live around football fields who refuse to allow schools to put up lights. They're private schools.
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't know why, but
And it's usually just one family. one or two families or couples who don't allow schools to put up lights. It's like, nope, you play during the day on Saturday. That was the case with my son's school. They got 2 night games this year. Woo! After many, many years of begging with this family. So the game was scheduled for Saturday, and of course that got rained out. So if you don't play on a Friday night, and they tried to move it to a Friday night, but guess what? There's not enough referees. And it's not because these men and or women are getting yelled at, because I've talked to the referees. They said Misha doesn't pay them. They said they're not getting paid much money to do a game. So they don't have them. You got to take care of your people. That's why they went to Thursday night high school football games, because they don't have enough referees for it all to be on Friday. So now you've got high school football on Thursday nights, Fridays, and Saturdays, so that they can use the same referees over and over again. And then those referees are making some decent money because they're working 3 straight days. So since my son's high school team got rained out all Saturday day and then Saturday night, because they couldn't play in the rain. How dare these high school kids play in rain? No thunder, just rain. They're playing a varsity football game today at 3 o'clock on a Monday. 3 o'clock. I'm just like, I'm like, okay. 3 o'clock varsity football game. I was like, aren't you guys still in school at 3 o'clock? My son's like, yeah. He's like, we just get out around then. I'm like, wow. And that's interesting because it's St. Dominic, who's undefeated, by the way, against MICDS over at 3 o'clock on it's just bizarre on a Monday afternoon. All right. We're just getting rock and rolling on a Monday morning. Appreciate you guys jumping in on the show. Like, subscribe, share the show. Let us know what's going on. Stories throughout the area. Anything you want to talk about, let us know. We'll get into that. If you guys also have story ideas, you have shout outs you want to give out, let us do that. Any stories that we've talked about that you guys want to jump in on, you can do that as well. We love it when you do that. We got Mizzou to talk about coming up, everything that's happening from that standpoint, your Chiefs, some of the other news stories, baseball standpoint, the Blues, lots of things happening. We'll get into it all. You can give us a call if you want to as well. That phone number is 855-282-8255. X, Facebook, and YouTube is where you can jump in as well. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. We'll be right back after this. Lou Info. morning. 6:35 is the time. Still very, very dark outside. I wonder if that sun's going to come up before 7 o'clock this morning. It's been getting a little bit more like that each day, darker and darker until daylight saving time hits. November 2nd, in just under 2 weeks. That's when that happens. So it's October 20th. It's a Monday. So let's have a great day. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Whatever it was. The weather welcomed us back into fall, but it's going to be a little warmer this week in the St. Louis area. A little warmer than yesterday, like 74 today and sunny. Looks like a beautiful day. The rest of the week, lots of sun. That's a good thing. Lots of sun in the forecast. Highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. Can't complain about that. The extended fall. I mean, literally, I walked outside this morning. It was 43 degrees. It's 44 degrees outside right now. That should show you. However, oh, yeah, we got more rain. Another rainstorm coming up this weekend, or at least lots of rain heading into the weekend. So, maybe you like the rain. Maybe you want to feel the rain, be around the rain. If you do, you'll like it because it looks like we got a lot more coming. If not, sorry. Those things happen. So anyway, we're Arch City now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. And it's producer Rye. I'm Vic Faust. Glad you guys are with us. Okay. Big thing happening this weekend. You've got Missouri football coming off a really, really important win over the weekend. One of the ugliest college football games I've ever seen Missouri play that they won, but they found a way to get it done. Missouri 6-1, people. They also are ranked 15th. I mean, for whatever it is. I mean, if you're an AP voter or if you know somebody who's an AP voter, they are part of the biggest corrupt voting system I have ever seen in sports. There's no rhyme or reason to it, yet it matters what kind of TV slots you get. It matters bowl games. It can matter for the playoff, yet you have these people who are writers, most of them have never even played sports, are clueless about college football, clueless, and they make no, I mean, I would love to talk to one to tell me how the hell they have Missouri at 15, yet there are several other programs with one loss who are ranked ahead of them. And you look at their losses. Missouri lost at home to the number 4 team in America by 3 points and had a chance to win. Yet you have other teams like Texas Tech. Oh, they lost to a unranked team in Arizona State, yet they're ranked ahead of Missouri. Oh, it's because it's the hype. They're Texas Tech. All this BS. Ranked ahead of Missouri. Should not even be. Shouldn't be. And then you go down the list of some of these schools that are still ranked ahead of Missouri with one loss. And I'm like, okay. And it's all about hype. It's all about whatever their media people are starting to say. And where you start a season has a lot to do with how you're being ranked. Look at Texas and Penn State. Well, they're the best 1 and 2 to start the year. No, they weren't. That just goes to show you how these media people are clueless. These sports media people, if you have a vote in the AP and you don't speak up and start calling out your organization, how can we trust you? Seriously. I mean, it makes zero sense to me. Tell me this. You've got, I mean, I get Miami. Miami's ranked ahead of Missouri. Miami's 5-1, Missouri 6-1. Who did Miami lose to? And where did they lose that game? Yet they're only ranked 9th, or they're ranked 9th. Miami lost to an unranked Louisville team. Unranked. They lost to Louisville, who was unranked. And guess where that game was? In their own backyard. They lost to Louisville in their own backyard, yet somehow, some way, they're ranked ahead of Missouri. That's what I'm saying. I only talk it over my mouth when I'm backing it with fact. It's one thing to have an opinion in life. And if you're going to have an opinion, that's fine. It's great. But just back it with some fact. Don't you? Well, I feel this and I feel that. Well, fact is always more important than your feelings. Facts first, feelings second. Facts should dictate the feelings. Missouri lost to the fourth-ranked team in America by 3 points, who has tons. They got 4 wins over ranked opponents already. Yet Miami loses to an unranked team at home, and somehow they're still ranked ahead of Missouri. So we'll see. Okay. But that sets up what an interesting game for Missouri this week. 2:30. The Missouri Tigers are playing at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's ranked 10th. Missouri's ranked 15th. And one of the big things, if you don't know what this is about, in college football and college coverage, ESPN's most popular show for a network that's done well over the years, they're struggling with some financial things right now, but their most popular show has been ESPN College Football Game Day. And it's a real feather in your cap to get them to come to your school or be promoted. ESPN College Football Game Day is going to Vanderbilt, going to Nashville Saturday for the Missouri at Vanderbilt tilt. It would have been nice if Missouri could have beat Vanderbilt and then they came to Columbia, Missouri, the following week when Missouri will host Texas A&M. But a lot of hype for the Missouri program, for Eli Drinkwitz, for the state of Missouri, for Missouri alumni all throughout the St. Louis area, to get a chance to see Mizzou and Vanderbilt featured in this game Saturday at 2:30 with literally an inside track to the college football playoffs for the winner. If Missouri could somehow win that game, and I haven't had a chance to look at any lines yet on who may be favored, but when you look at that game, one of those two teams is going to come out as one of the top football teams in America. That's how important that game is. And what I think is very interesting is Vanderbilt was favored, I believe, by 3 points last week over LSU. And they proved to be a better team than LSU. The opening line for the Missouri Vanderbilt game on Saturday, it's 3 points. Vanderbilt's favored by Missouri over 3 points. So it's supposed to be another very tight game. The Tigers coming off a double overtime win against Auburn on Saturday night. By the way, I don't know if you saw it, right, but Zion Young dropped an F-bomb.
He dropped a lot of bombs. That's my captain, though.
I tell you what,
my captain on
that guy. And when I talk to the Mizzou coach, I've talked to 2 coaches. There's guys that try to be rah-rah and it could be in your business or whatever. You know, there's that person that gets you going. Maybe that person likes to talk a lot. Then, in your own business environments, sometimes people are more talkative. Sometimes people are less talkative. Just be who you are. Don't try to be something that you're not. Just be who you are, because and that goes for life. If you're trying to be something who you're not, it shows, and it's uncomfortable for you and for everybody else. But Zion Young likes to talk. Last week, it got him in trouble. He was the target of worthy criticism because he is the guy that went and taunted a Alabama player when he was on the ground, and it gave Alabama a first down. They went down and scored a touchdown, and the game wasn't the same. But Saturday night, that guy his motor was running. As Coach Drinkwitz said, he was unblockable. He played amazing. And after the game ended, they went to overtime. So they came back to the huddle, and they've got the TV cameras right there. So you hear all the audio. And he's literally looking Auburn players in the face. And he's like, I can't. I'm just all excited, not being mean on purpose, just how intense he is. And then Missouri went out and had a pretty good overtime. So it's a big game. Be curious to see if Missouri fans, that game is sold out, but I can think of worse places to go than Nashville for a 6-1 versus 6-1 tilt. Arguably the biggest game of the weekend, arguably, when you look at the teams who are facing off against one another. OU, Oklahoma, another team that's ranked ahead of Missouri that has a loss. Who was their loss to? At the time, it was to a unranked Texas team. And it wasn't close. Oh, but they're still ranked ahead of Missouri. They host Ole Miss. That'll be an interesting game. Then you start looking down the line. I mean, there's just, Texas A&M is going to be at LSU. But now you've got Diego Pavia, who he's up there for Heisman. His numbers aren't earth-shattering, but he's leading a Vanderbilt team that is now ranked 10th or higher, I think, since first time since 1947. Something from like 80 years. It's what? Vanderbilt? What? So it's a lot of fun if you're a college football fan. Getting a chance to see what's happening with Missouri. A chance for Missouri to really, really get a big, big win. They're not expected to win the game, being a 3-point underdog, but if they do, what a way it could really set up their season for what's happening for them right now. By the way, we say good morning to Donna in Trip D. Mike Howell, good morning to you guys. Happy Monday. Appreciate you guys jumping in. If you guys want to talk about anything, you can give shout outs. I know that not everybody's a college football fan. I know that not everybody's a Missouri football fan, but they're a big story in the St. Louis area these days. It is 6:47. We're Arch City now. We're here Monday through Friday, by the way, 6 to 8 a.m. Central. If you want to jump in on the show, you can. The phone number is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. As always, you can find out more about our station, our programming, our content at luinfo.com. Those things that are going on. So
I do have a question about college
please
football.
Talk to me, my friend.
Why is Georgia Tech 7?
I think Georgia Tech had a couple wins.
They beat.
They're number one in the ACC. They're 4-0 in the conference, and they're 4-0 in their own conference, and then they're 7-0 overall.
Oh, they don't play anybody that's like good in the ACC. They don't play Miami. They don't play any of those guys. So.
Exactly.
They played Clemson, Gardner Webb.
They're undefeated. That's the only reason. They have, at the time, they beat Clemson, and we've seen that Clemson is a farce.
Yeah.
But somehow that's the only ranked team they've beaten, and the rest of their schedule is doo-doo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I agree. It's another great point. If Georgia Tech and Missouri played, Missouri would shut them down. Missouri's defense would shut them down. But good point. I'm glad you brought it up. But I'm just the Big 12 and the ACC, if you talk college football, they're weak conferences. They're weak. The ACC is one of the weakest Power 4 conferences of all time. Of all time. It's bad. It's really, really bad. The Big 12 isn't much better. It really isn't. There's some really bad teams. And then, you've got the SEC and the Big 10, who are definitely more dominant conferences. But, oh well. So this week, last year, Missouri barely got by Vanderbilt at home. I was at that game, and I could not believe how good the offensive and defensive lines from Vanderbilt were. They're a legit team. Vandy's legit, and they beat up LSU. So what's going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. How about Florida? Florida's now 4-2, and they fired their coach. or excuse me, they beat a Mississippi State team that was that 4-2. So they fired their coach. Florida's going to be looking for a brand new coach, but that is college football these days. How about this? Your Chiefs. A lot of Chief fans in there while we were talking some football. Were dominant yesterday. For the first time, they had their full roster of offensive players playing, and they looked like a different team. They had Worthy, the receiver. They had Rice, the receiver back. Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Patrick Mahomes healthy. And they had 30 first downs, 30 in the fourth quarter, and called off the dogs. Literally, they probably could have had 40 first downs. It's one of the more dominant offensive performances I've seen from the Chiefs in their entire run, where they just made a mockery of another NFL team. Chiefs showed everybody they're back. They're for real. They're not going anywhere. 4-2. Legitimately look like one of the best teams in the NFL again. Legitimately look like they're a contender for the Super Bowl again. And I know that has a lot of Chief fans throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area and Missouri very happy because they look legit. They've already got, in my humble opinion, one of the best play callers in the game in Andy Reid, an overall coach. And they've got a good defense. So probably excited about that. Also, somehow, some way, you've got, and I love it because you just don't know what's happening with the NFL. And a lot of times it depends on who you're playing and where you're playing them. But how about this, guys? The New England Patriots are 5-2 with a second-year quarterback in Drake May. They're 5-2. Once again, it just goes to show that Bill Belichick was not some dominant genius coach. His North Carolina football team sucks, and he's been a disaster as a head coach. He should have never been brought in there. Easy to say after the fact, but still, was he really into it? The signs were all there. I'm just going to tell you that I knew a player and his dad who went to North Carolina, witnessed some things during the summer upon transferring, and got the hell out very fast because they said, what's going on behind the scenes here is unlike anything that I have ever seen. That's right. And he called it. The dad called it. The dad was spot on and very happy that they got out of Dodge, so to speak. So getting back to Tom Brady was the reason the Patriots were so damn good, and we're seeing it right now. It was not Bill Belichick. And people go, oh, Vic, how can you say that? Really? What did Bill win without Tom Brady before and after? Nada, nothing, zilch. He just had this little personality. Right? I'm cranky and I wear a hoodie, so I'm a smart football guy. So here come the Patriots without Bill Belichick. They're 5-2. Now, it doesn't hurt that they have the two worst teams in football are in the AFC East as well. But you got the Bills who are 4-2. But the Dolphins and Jets are 1-13 together. Those are easy wins put in there. But then you look at it, the Colts are 6-1. The Broncos are 5-2. Chiefs 4-3. Chargers 4-3. That'll be an interesting division going down. But then you look at the NFC. Who's the best team in the NFC? The Eagles are 5-2, and they're ugly. That is an ugly 5-2 football team. The Packers 4-1. The Lions 4-2. The Bears 4-2. And the Vikings 3-3, the best division in football. The Lions have a huge game tonight. They host, Tampa. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-1. They haven't lost in a road game yet. Tampa's 3-0 on the road. Baker Mayfield getting some hype for MVP already. And then the 49ers, with all their injuries and without Brock Purdy, are 5-2. The Rams are 5-2. I mean, you literally have like 8 teams. I would not be surprised to win the Super Bowl. So I know a lot of people get excited about that, and they're like, "Okay, all right, we see what's going on." So the scripting, they've kept it very, very interesting for lots of fans and fan bases across the country to follow, to watch, to not give up on their teams early. Just some of those teams have some issues that are happening right now. By the way, you can jump it on X. You can jump it on Facebook, YouTube. Chime in, say hi, give us a story idea, shout out from the weekend. What's ahead with your week? People, businesses, charities, whatever you want to promote, you can. It's all about St. Louis all the time. That's why we call ourselves luinfo.com. Once again, it is luinfo.com. If you want to jump in on the phone lines, you can do that as well. The phone number to call is 855-282-8255. That's 855-282-8255. We are your Lou Information Station. We're always live and on demand at luinfo.com. Coming up in the next hour, Blues had a big win on Saturday. They're back at home tomorrow. Some news about St. Louis comedian or St. Louis native, Nikki Glazer. She's got a big week in St. Louis. Also, some SNL news regarding Nikki that we'll get to when we come back, and anything else that you guys want to let us know about. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. This is ARP City Now, back right after this.
What are you so happy about? I'm on the pill.
is 7:05. We're getting you up and at it. The sun is up today. Should have some sun. By the way, today is expected to be the warmest day of the week in the St. Louis area, for whatever that means for you. Temperatures in the 70s today and sunny. Sounds like a lot of what we've had already, doesn't it? I mean, 70 degrees, maybe a little over 70. Sunshine most of the day. Maybe a little breezy, some cloud cover, but all in all, should be a really nice day. How about the rest of the week when you're looking at temperatures? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday look nice. Sunny and low 60s for highs. That's our fall. We are getting to the end of October. It makes sense. But then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, strong chances of rain. Highs in the upper 50s and low 60s, maybe 60 at best until Sunday. So enjoy it. Fall's here. Halloween, by the way, coming up at the end of next week. Anybody looking forward to that? If you are, we threw it out there earlier. What are the kids talking about being? What are you being? Do you get into Halloween? You giving out candy? Do you like that? We like to get those conversations, and we'll talk about that leading into where we are coming up next week as the Halloween day approaches us, since it is pretty popular. Those stores, by the way, if you go to look at those, they're starting to get more crowded. If you are doing something for Halloween, jump in. Don't wait till the last moment to get your stuff. You'll be like, oh, damn, the lines are forever. They're forever, ever, ever, ever. We were talking about some of the things last hour. College game day headed to Nashville for Vanderbilt, Missouri. That should be exciting. Missouri get an opportunity to take a national stage. It's also, by the way, the first time that ESPN College Football Game Day has ever been to Vanderbilt. First time they've gone to Nashville since 2008. So it's been a long time. That's when Auburn came to town. And I don't know. The initial line came out at 3, and now I see it at 2.5 points. So maybe more money coming on Missouri now. I don't know. We'll see where that line goes. But right now, obviously, it's expected to be a very, very tight game playing in Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia, the quarterback, Heisman hopeful for Nashville, has really helped change their fortune around. Also, with their new coach, Clark Lee. So that'll be exciting. We talked about that. If you guys wanted to jump in, you could do that. Chiefs fans, you enjoyed watching your Chiefs beat up the Raiders yesterday. Taylor was in the house. Travis had a good game, but then again, all the Chiefs had a good game against the Raiders yesterday. I mean, that was just pathetic. Bad. By the way, can somebody please tell me how an NFL kicker can miss not 1 but 2 extra points in the same game? That's what the Giants are asking themselves today. Their kicker did that. Their head coach was pissed, Brian Dable. That's how you lose your job. That's for sure. You miss 2 extra points, you're going to lose your job. Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo played amazing for the Giants, and they had him in a spot to win the game until their kicker missed extra points. Congrats to the Broncos. They found a way to win. They were down, let's just say they were down 19-0 in the third quarter, and somehow, some way found a way to win. That's what can happen. So, anyway, anything you guys want to jump in and talk about, we'll do that. 855-282-8255. We are your Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. We appreciate it when you guys jump in. We got stories to talk about. Okay, from the weekend, a lot of sports going on today. Not trying to be too sports heavy, but it happens a lot, Mondays and Tuesdays. How about the Blues? The Blues finally got their first home win on Saturday, 3-1. I told anybody that was around me, bet the Blues if you're a betting fan. There's no way the Blues are going to lose 3 straight games at home. It's not going to happen. They're going to win. jumped out to an early lead. They won 3-1. They desperately needed that. They are 3-2 on the season, and they will host the Kings tomorrow night. So you've got a chance to watch the Kings tomorrow night. And then Utah comes to town on Thursday. So some St. Louis Blues hockey action there for you on Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to jump in and jump out for the sports side of things, you can go watch the Blues. If there's other events that are happening this week, you can let us know. We'll certainly promote that for you. That's what we do. Just like to promote the St. Louis area. Appreciate you guys coming in and keeping things going from a St. Louis standpoint. Okay, how about this? This week, and she's going to have a really, really, really busy week. But Nikki Glazer just continues to be out there. She's got a huge week, and here's what she's doing. Tomorrow night and Wednesday night, she's going to be at the Funny Bone Comedy Club in St. Charles. So it's kind of a give back tour to the St. Louis area. And she's always promoting St. Louis, and we appreciate you, Nikki, for that. So she's at the Funny Bone tomorrow night, and then she's at the Funny Bone on Wednesday night. Those shows start at 7:30 p.m. if people want to watch it. And then on Thursday, so she's off Thursday, but then Friday and Saturday, Nikki will be at the Fabulous Fox. She'll be at the Fabulous Fox on Friday and Saturday. The Saturday night show, the tickets are selling fast. Those shows at the Fabulous Fox start at 7 p.m. So if you want to check out Nikki, you can go ahead and get those shows. But she's got 4 shows in 5 days that are coming up. But that's not the only thing that she has going on. Nikki Glazer has also been tapped because Saturday Night Live has tapped her to be a host of the show coming up. Literally, Miles Teller, Nikki Glazer, and Glenn Powell. That's a pretty heavy-duty, star-studded lineup for November. So here's what they've got going on. Nikki, well, they've got Miles Teller. He's going to host the November 8th show. And then you've got Nikki Glazer, who obviously hosted. I thought she did a pretty good job. The ratings were terrible for the 2025 Golden Globes back in January, but I thought she did very well. Very, very well. She's good anytime you give her a mic. Very smart. She makes her debut as a host November 8th. So that musical guest that night will be Somber, also making his SNL debut. And then on November 15th, Glenn Powell, who's currently starting sports related. Have you seen that on Hulu? Chad Powers?
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
I've seen the previews for it. I haven't seen. I was just curious if it's any good.
I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the previews for it. Yeah.
So he's currently starting Hulu's Chad Powers. He'll also be starring, hosting the SNL show. I just don't watch SNL anymore. I don't, but people do great. Just letting you know that Nikki's going to be hosting St. Louis's own, and she's done a really, really, really good job and super popular. She's definitely riding a wave of fame these days, and good for her. Didn't happen overnight. Never does for anybody. That's for sure. So congrats to Nikki from that standpoint. Also from a St. Louis standpoint, over the weekend, Saturday night, St. Louis City SC played their final regular season game. It was really a struggle this year, but at least it ended on a somewhat upward note. They ended with a 2-2 draw to Salt Lake on Saturday. So their season ends at 8-18 and 8. No, they're not going to the playoffs. The season is over, but now they get a chance to regroup and figure out their future, who their head coach is going to be, how they're going to handle things internally. But the last 7-8 games or so, they look like a playoff team. They look like a pretty decent team once they made some changes. And probably the best news is that goalie, Roman Berkey, one of the best in the league, has re-signed. You got to keep him. He's the face of the franchise. He's your goalie. He's good. He's well-spoken. He looks good. I mean, just everything about Roman Berkey is positive. And when you're a newer franchise, you need that. And yes, he helps sell tickets, and the guy is really good on the field, and he's really good off. So expect bigger and better things from St. Louis City SC next year. No doubt from that standpoint. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Okay, some other news headlines. And by the way, you can jump in on Facebook, X, YouTube. I will go over there and check. We always say that we try to get your comments out there. We appreciate you guys chiming in, watching on the show, and of course, letting us know if there are stories, shout outs for businesses, charities, people, whatever the case may be. You let us know. And of course, we'll get that in there. We appreciate people looking, watching. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Donna, and so forth. Glad you guys are with us. Okay. Also, if you guys want to jump in on the show, 855-282-8255, 855-282-8255. We are your Lou information station, live and on demand always at louinfo.com. There was a backyard thief that we told you about, showed you, I don't know, about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, or 2 weeks to a month ago. He was caught stealing equipment from backyards. We can show you the pictures of the guy, the video. He was seen on surveillance video. Are we able to show that video again, buddy? Producer Ray? He was stealing lawn equipment, blowers, gas cans, whatever he could, literally walking into people's backyards. I don't know. Sounds like a death wish to me, but he was doing it as if he owned the places. Video captured him, and I guess it was only a matter of time. Well, he eventually was found, captured, arrested, and now facing charges. 2 counts, well, actually has 3 counts of stealing, 2 counts of burglary, and also 2 counts of property damage. And it's like, oh, okay. One person said that they were stolen from 5 times. 5 times. His property was targeted by 50-year-old Kevin Poirier. So the footage captured Poirier just walking in the neighbor's porch, taking a leaf blower, a weed whacker, and then just leaving. Yeah, it's like he's shopping in somebody else's backyard. And that's the good thing, that he was taken down. But that's not it. There was also a St. Louis suspect arrested who was targeting people's golf carts. So he was taking golf carts, collecting them, and guess what? This was also in South City. Somebody targeting missing golf cart, or they were targeting golf carts. So this guy also had multiple guns, tools, and cash when police eventually caught up with him. So he's now facing charges of tampering with a vehicle, resisting arrest, unlawful use of a weapon, and he remains in St. Louis jail while that investigation continues. The good news there is he was caught and brought in by authorities as he should be. But I really like this story, and it's another thieving story, if you will. Two boys stopped another burglary in a South St. Louis ice cream shop. A 9-year-old boy and a 10-year-old said they were going to get ice cream at their new favorite spot, Aunt Jamie's. It's on South Broadway and Cross Street. But they noticed something wasn't right. They said that they went there to buy some ice cream and the window was shattered. And they heard noise inside. So they were wondering who was inside. So they knew the owner. So the young boy, the older one, called the shop owner and he didn't answer. So they decided to call police. So a 9 and a 10-year-old boy called police because they were worried that something was happening to this ice cream shop. And the burglar said that the boy said that the burglar was stuck in the shop. And they stayed there to make sure that if he got away, they could tell police. So police got there and they helped save the ice cream shop from being targeted. So an 8 and 9-year-old boy just noticing something and calling the owner. They had a relationship with the owner, by the way. That was the connection. That's how they were able to give the owner a call. This is a cool story. 9 and 10-year-old kids, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can certainly help make a difference when it comes to some of those things that are going on. And we love it from that standpoint. Another St. Louis area story. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about referees, not just for football, but referees in general in the state of Missouri, still at an all-time low. And it's not just for football, it's for many sports. Now, people can say that it's because parents are abusive. And at times, I've been told that it is. But many times, I've been told that it's not, that it's about money. Because people don't want to referee for the amount of money and the possibility of upsetting parents. So we've talked about that ad litem. But now you have an issue, too, where we've seen it. Bus drivers. Another situation. It always seems to be the case. We had stories about this, I think, last year, maybe out in the Wentzville School District. They didn't have bus drivers, literally struggling to find bus drivers. Well, now the Fort Zumwalt School District, which is growing, especially out there, Fort Zumwalt West, they have a problem. The district says they've had a shortage for years, but it's really gotten to a fever pitch now. So they've had to cut routes because they don't have enough bus drivers. So their school board recently changed compensation to create a more competitive salary for a driver, and they hope it makes sense. Okay, so what do bus drivers make? Here, you guys tell me what you think. School officials in at the Fort Zumwalt West or Fort Zumwalt School District say within 4 years, not even right now, but within 4 years, bus drivers will make $29 an hour with full benefits and pension plans. But how many hours a day are you working as a bus driver? I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. I've never known anybody that was a bus driver. Is that good? $29 an hour, full benefits and pension plans within 4 years? I don't know. They say while it's helped some, the district still needs to fill over 20. They've got over 25 driver spots needed for all the routes to come back. I don't know. It just seems like it's a lot. Will they be able to make that happen? I don't know. They said that, on Saturday, the district is hosting a bus driver open house for anyone interested to do that. Or if you have questions, you can obviously give them a call. They had one on Saturday, So they're trying to, and basically what you can do is you can contact the Fort Zumwalt Professional Development and Technology Center if you're interested in being a bus driver. I can tell you this much. There's something for everybody. There's jobs I would do that other people wouldn't. I would not want to be a school bus driver. I just couldn't. No way. But it is an issue that people are dealing with right now. Okay. How about a positive story here? You've seen the Make-A-Wish situations, and it's one of the best organizations, Make-A-Wish, for people who are dealing with just horrible sicknesses, sometimes and many times illnesses and sicknesses that don't have a cure. And, younger people get a wish, something that they would love to do. Well, there is a local St. Louisan, Kat Gaylord. I saw this story over on Channel 4. She's been in and out of the hospital since she was 3 years old. She's 17. She's been dealing with this for 14 years. She was diagnosed with a brain tumor on her motor cortex. So she's had to relearn everything. I mean, you can imagine the hell of being in PT and OT and everything that goes into that. Well, she was granted a wish to the Make-A-Wish Missouri and Kansas organization, who does a phenomenal job. I used to do some work with them, just phenomenal. So instead of going somewhere or trying to meet somebody, she said she wanted to raise money for her surgeon, who's been a big part of her life. And she didn't know the best way to do it. So she ended up partnering with an Atlanta-based jewelry designer, E. Newton, that's E-N-E-W, like Enu, T-O-N, E. Newton, to bring an idea to life. So she created a bracelet where 100% of the profits are going to go to pediatric brain tumor research at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio. So the CEO of the jewelry designers said, yeah, she could have gone anywhere, seen anybody, but instead she wanted to create a bracelet that could be purchased with donations going to the surgeon, the hospital, and studying pediatric situations, pediatric brain tumor situations and research. So she created a bracelet, and it's available at Cat's Meow Boutique in Des Peres. You can literally go in there, Cat's Meow Boutique in Des Peres, and purchase it. Check it out, and knowing where it's going to go and how it's going to help people. Her family obviously think that she's the most amazing thing ever, and it sounds like she is. Everything she's gone through, and I want to help other people. I don't need a wish. My wish is to help other people. So shout out to Kat Gaylord, her family, and friends for everything that she's trying to do in helping others in the area. Just kind of puts things in perspective, that's for sure, on a Monday morning, October 20th. It is 7:28, just about 7:20, just about 7:29 on a Monday morning, October 20th. Should be a beautiful day. High around 70 today in the St. Louis area. If you guys want to talk about anything, jump in on the show. X, Facebook, YouTube, let us know. We'll promote it. Anything happening this week, we'll do that as well. Highs and lows from the weekend as we get you started. We kind of do that every day here on Arch City Now as part of luinfo.com from 6 to 8 a.m. We'll come back. We'll talk about things from the weekend. We'll set the weekend ahead when it comes to news and sports. Lots to get to with our local teams, our local stories, and of course, anything else that you guys want to jump in on, let us know. If you want to give us a call and talk about those stories, you can do that as well at 855-282-8255. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. We appreciate you guys being with us. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back right after this. October 20th. Fast month of October, racing through 7:35 is the time. We're with you for about 20 more minutes here. Glad you're with us. If you want to jump in with us and talk with us, you can do it live in person at 855-282-8255, 855-282-8255, or you can jump in on X, YouTube, Facebook. Get your shout outs out there as well. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods, what's moving the needle for you in regards to the weekend. Any big things happen over the weekend, the highs, the lows, what's happening for the week ahead. Of course, we like to promote it, focusing all things St. Louis all the time. A lot of sports seem to happen on Mondays, that's for sure. And it's all good. And it's all good from that standpoint. As we covered, there's just a lot of things that are going on. A lot of sports going on from a St. Louis standpoint. And of course, we get into that as well, trying to promote the events that are happening in the area. And of course, no matter what it is. So you can jump in on Facebook, X, YouTube, any of those spots. We appreciate it when you do. Okay, here's what we got going on. Should be a really nice week of weather. Today, 70 for a high. And then the rest of the week, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, seriously, sunny and cool in the 60s for highs. Yeah, it's going to change just a little bit. The weekend doesn't look so great right now, so enjoy the week, but we know that can change. Who knows? We'll see where it comes from the weather. But today, you're looking, partly sunny, 70s for the highs, and of course, it's that fall feeling that we've got again going on. Okay, if you're looking for things to do this week, right out of the gate, okay, well, there's baseball tonight. If you're following that series, the ALCS, the American League Championship Series, has now been forced to a Game 7. That's right, Major League Baseball's Game 7. Toronto has forced a Game 7 back in Toronto. That'll take place tonight, just after 7 o'clock. Winner between the Mariners and the Blue Jays will go to the World Series to take on the Dodgers, who've just been sitting around waiting with that terrific pitching staff to begin the World Series. So that's going on. And then you've got NFL football. And we were talking about it, whether you're an NFL fan or not, whether you get into fantasy or not, your kids, your husband, whatever, boyfriend, friends, family, is the fact that the NFL right now, there's no dominant team. And there's literally about 8 or 9 different teams. Well, maybe 8. I may be going overboard. 7 or 8 that could legitimately win the Super Bowl. I mean, who thought the Patriots would be 5-2? I mean, that's what you got. So tonight, a fun game between the Lions, who are 4-2, with the most difficult schedule in the NFL, and the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are 5-1. Lions are favored in that game too. I think it was over 5 points or 6 points. So it's just bizarre. Lions obviously coming off of a loss to Kansas City last week. So that's a big Monday night game. A lot of Chief fans in the area. Chiefs looked like the best team in the NFL yesterday. Not even close. First game they had on offense with Rice and Worthy, their receivers, Brown, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce healthy. They looked the part yesterday. Now, they were playing a depleted Raiders team who are not that good, but still, they dominated. They look great. So I know a lot of Chief fans in the area and the state are excited about the Chiefs. Chiefs 4-3 and getting back on track, looking like a dominant team like they could be. So we'll see what happens with those Chiefs as they continue to move forward. They didn't get off to a great start, but man, do they look good right now. Also, tomorrow night, the Blues get back in action. St. Louis getting ready to host the LA Kings after a big win Saturday night against the Stars. That was a win, a must win, even as it's early in the season. Maybe that ice has now been broken. Let's get our second straight home victory over at Enterprise. They'll drop the puck with LA tomorrow night. Certainly looking forward to that. See what they have going on because, the Blues are a good team and you don't want to get too far behind early on when it comes to the beginning part of the season. So the Blues have played 5 games. They're 3-2. They've won 1 game at home, which is good. But already just out of the gate, and, the Blackhawks, the Blackhawks are 3-2. They played 2 extra games. But you're talking about, Colorado has 11 points already. Winnipeg has 8 points. The Blues are 6. So they're not that far back, at least in their own division, which is good. So now they got a chance to play LA. LA has started 1-3-2, not so good. And then it's not just that, but the Blues also play on Thursday night. So there's another home game on Thursday night when they will host Utah. So you've got a chance to watch the Blues play Tuesday and or Thursday in St. Louis. Now, Utah in the Western Conference's Central Division with the Blues have started out pretty well. They're 4-2. So 2 more opportunities for the Blues to take care of business. By the way, the Stars have only started the season out 3-2, and the Blues helped them to a loss the other night. So after what we saw Saturday night, looking forward to another big week for the Blues. 2 opportunities, great opportunities to pick up 4 points this week. Certainly excited to promote what we see happening from that standpoint. St. Louis City SC finished up their regular season over the weekend, guys. We know what happened there. There was a tie, 2-2 tie. 18-8 was the record this year. Well below expectations. Obviously, coach was fired, changing some things internally. But the good point about that is they finished the season on an up note, looking like a pretty good team, winning games, tying games, not losing many. And it was just a little too late. But they were able to sign Roman Berkey, their goalie, one of the best goalies in the league. He does everything well. He's great on the field, off the field. Important to get him back. So he is locked in for next season. And that's a great point. So you start there with one of the game's best goalies, and then you work forward. But obviously expect some changes when it comes to St. Louis City SC as they move forward and try to get back into the playoffs for next year, because we know we're a great soccer city. We love St. Louis City, or St. Louis City SC. And of course, just believe in what they're doing. Carolyn Kindle and crew know how to run good businesses. They have great game day experiences. And of course, it's St. Louis. We love to promote St. Louis. That's what we try to talk about. By the way, if you want to jump in, you can do so. 855-282-8255. You can learn more about our show and the other shows that are on the network at luinfo.com. We're here from 6 to 8 every Monday through Friday. And then following us is Hot Take Central 2.0. The former Blue, Cam Jansen, and Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. On Mondays from 10 to 11, you've got the MIZ STL show. Grant Salzman hosts that show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. All things Mizzou all the time. I'll be with him today, Monday from 10 to 11. And then you've got Charlie Tuna and the Posse, 11 to 1 every day, Monday through Friday. So for a list of all the other shows that are on the network, you can go to luinfo.com. Once again, that is luinfo.com. Check out what's going on all throughout our network and the things that we have going on. So anyway, we appreciate you guys jumping in with us, with your comments, your shout outs, things from that standpoint, anything and everything when it comes to the St. Louis area. We talk about all things that are happening in the area, and sports has been really big. It was a big weekend, and we talked about it earlier in the show. But for Mizzou and Mizzou football, they had a big double overtime win on Saturday night at Auburn, and you look at what Auburn can do when they're at home. They've had 4 tight losses, but somehow, some way, Missouri found a way to win. In years past, there were games that they had lost. This is a different team. They battled. All that matters is they're now 6-1. They're ranked 15th in the country. And this Saturday, they will be playing at Vanderbilt, who's ranked 10th for like the first time since 1947, with a legitimate Heisman contender and their quarterback, Diego Pavia. So what happens? ESPN College Game Day chooses it as their matchup of the week, arguably the biggest game of the weekend. And Missouri is involved. In Nashville, College Game Day, going back there for the first time since 2008. And what an opportunity for Missouri to do something really, really good, really special. Right now, they're a 2.5 point to 3 point underdog at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was just a 3-point favorite against LSU, and they took care of business, and they really were the better team. I mean, they were better. They were better than LSU. And really proved like, hey, wait a second. We got something really, really, really good going on here. And now Missouri has a chance to go in there, not only ruin Vanderbilt's playoff opportunity, their playoff chances, and that's basically what this game looks like. It's a winner looking like they could be on an inside track to getting a college football playoff spot, but also an opportunity to catapult Missouri themselves into a spot where they hadn't been before. I mean, you're talking about an opportunity to become 7-1 and then come back and host a Texas A&M team that's more than likely going to be remaining ranked third in America to a matchup in Columbia in 2 weeks with however high Missouri would be hosting a Texas A&M squad. What a time it is to be a Missouri Tiger, an alumni, football fan or not, just because they're doing so much positive when it comes to everything, finding ways to win, and of course, finding ways to keep the attention in a positive way on Missouri. Eli Drinkwitz and crew may not look good against Auburn from an offensive standpoint, but they certainly they found a way to win. And I know that has a lot of Missouri fans excited from that standpoint. I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. Producer Rye alongside as well. We're always here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Covering the headlines, news, sports, entertainment, you name it. That's where we are from a sports standpoint. A couple of news headlines we did not cover. St. Louis Public Schools is also now searching for a new superintendent. This after they fired the former superintendent, Borsche. That happened on Friday. The problem here is this is now the third person that will hold the role in 3 years. They're looking for their third superintendent in 3 years. The previous only held the spot in the district since July of last year. That's when the previous superintendent before him was placed on leave and then later also fired. So the board made the decision during a closed-door meeting 2 months into the school year. The specific reason for her termination, for Millicent's termination, it was not provided publicly. But something is a problem, and they've got to find a way to make this better. You can't have three superintendents in 3 years and think that people are going to trust what's happening in the school district. And it's just a few months in. Very, very, very weird time for all of this stuff that happens. I mean, we all know kids need stability. Hell, the teachers need stability from a leadership standpoint, especially when they're facing a lot of challenges, and we don't have time to get into all of them. But if you want to believe in public schools in the St. Louis area, you've got to believe in a superintendent because it's leadership. Everything starts with leadership. And right now, great decisions are not being made in St. Louis. And it's not by us, our opinion. It's a fact. That's a fact if you have to go get your third superintendent in 3 years. They're talking, they admitted it. I mean, board vice president Emily Hubbard acknowledged the need for better leadership following the decision in short remarks. Quote, "We know we need to be better leaders. We need to work together better than we ever have. We are already on the next government's committee. Board norms are on the agenda to figure out what works and what we can do better and what doesn't serve us. When it comes to the audit, oh yeah, there's audit that's going on as well. There are many, many paragraphs that say the board did or the board did not. We're going to address that as well." So here's the other issue. Borschade's termination is without cause. So her contract states that she's still going to receive about $750,000 in a remaining salary. How can they fire a superintendent without cause a few months into the school year and then pay $750,000? They're already in budget shortfalls where kids have situations that they should not be dealing with because the district doesn't have enough money. I mean, that's crazy to me. So The school board's decision comes just days before a now canceled community meeting that was looking at the future of the district, including the possibility of closing more than half of its schools while addressing the declining enrollment and recovery from the May 16th tornado. So there are a lot of things right now that are piling up on St. Louis City Public Schools, and they got to find a leader. And they got to find a leader that's going to make things work, a leader that's going to make things better, and give people more of a confidence in St. Louis. Story we talked about earlier, too, Fort Zumwalt School District looking for bus drivers amid a national shortage. They're talking about being able to pay their drivers about $29 an hour with pension and full benefits. If you're interested, you can contact the Fort Zumwalt School District in regards to getting some of that information out there. Also, you've got, okay, from an entertainment standpoint, we talked about it a little bit earlier, Nikki Glazer. So tonight she's off, but tomorrow night, Tuesday and Wednesday, she's going to be at the Funny Bone. Those shows start at 7:30. You can get your tickets to watch the very funny and super talented St. Louis and Nikki Glazer. And not only does she have those two shows, but then she's giving back to St. Louis more. She has two more shows coming up Friday and Saturday. And that's going to be at the Fabulous Fox. You can get those tickets. I was looking online. It seemed like the show on Saturday is selling out of tickets quicker. But Friday and Saturday, those shows start at 7 p.m. Once again, at 7 p.m. at the Fabulous Fox to catch up with Nikki Glazer, terrific St. Louisan comedian. But that's not it. Nikki also had some other big news that has now come out. Coming up November 8th, she will have her first opportunity to host Saturday Night Live, SNL. Nikki Glazer on that. So obviously, that's big for her, but she's used to doing these national shows. If you don't remember, earlier this year, she hosted the 2025 Golden Globes Award. That was back in January, and she did a terrific job with that. So the musical guest will be somber the night she's there. It's kind of interesting, too. The week before her, Miles Teller, the actor, will be hosting. Then she hosts on the 8th, and the week after, Glenn Powell. Yeah, some kind of big actors. That's right. He's currently starring in Hulu's Chad Powers. So a lot of things, a lot of action, things going on right now for Nikki Glazer. Good for her. It wasn't too long ago she got her bobblehead at Busch Stadium. Remember that? It was at the end of the season.
Yes.
It was, I think it was like 105 degrees or something. The Cardinals were out of the playoffs, and there were like 8,000 people there. I just felt Nikki deserved better than that, but at least she got her own bobblehead. Maybe they could do something like that again. By the way, a Missouri player won a $3 million scratch off. It happened over on the KC side, but people do win. That's for sure. Just in case if anybody was wondering. We were asked, because when we start this show at dark 30 in the morning, it seems like it's been getting later and later that the sun has been rising. Daylight saving time coming up November 2nd. Not this weekend, but the following weekend, just a couple days after Halloween. We were also talking. Nobody really jumped in on the Halloween thing today. I'm sure we're going to be told about that coming up. Hey, by the way, somebody else won a lottery. Asking ChatGPT for numbers, my friend. Remember that last week we were talking about that? Somebody else asked ChatGPT won a small, not a major lottery, but
I've been telling my friends that they think it's a joke. I said, hey,
what do they think is a joke?
They were like, I said, I was like, bro, ChatGPT is like, AI is getting too crazy. Like, people are doing stuff to themselves. Like, people are winning the lottery off of it. Like, I told him that, and I'm like, that's why I'm like cool with like so many people in cybersecurity, because I'm scared one day AI is just gonna hack all my stuff. So, yeah,
I know it is interesting, isn't it?
super interesting. It's scary.
AI, my friends. Yeah, it is bizarre when you look at those things that are happening. Because it was last week we were talking about that. We're like, yeah, here you go. this is happening. I don't know, man. I don't think I'd be asking AI for numbers, but I don't know. Maybe it can work. We've seen it happen twice now. I don't know. Teach their own, I guess. Yeah, so you got NFL tonight. It should be a really nice week with the weather that's coming up. You got the Blues tomorrow night. Just some exciting times. It's the fall area. By the way, we'll get into it this week too. Wonder if people are getting out to do the pumpkin thing. There was a pumpkin shortage allegedly this year. I'm curious if anybody's been out and seen pumpkins or tried to get pumpkins, if they've seen that there's been a shortage. Anything from that standpoint, let us know. And of course, we'll get into that as well. We appreciate you guys jumping in today. So many, went fast. So many darn things going on, especially from the weekend. Keep in mind, you can always contact us. Let us know if there's stories or interviews that we need to cover. We'll be grateful to jump on that for anybody and everybody. Whatever we possibly can do. And of course, don't forget the lineup of shows today. Hot Take Central 2.0 is coming up here in just a couple of minutes with the former Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster Jim McAdams. And then at 10 o'clock today, you can catch us for the MIZ STL show with Grant Salzman, all things Mizzou all the time from 10 to 11. And then producer Rye will be alongside with Charlie Tuna and the Posse today as they take you as they do every day from 11 to 1 o'clock. So we're grateful that you guys were with us. Thanks again for making the show what it was today. As always, if you want to jump in, the phone number for us, the phone number for the other shows, 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. We are your Lou information station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. Have a great day, everybody. Stay positive. We'll catch you later.
The all-new Audi